Unfiltered Gupshup is a podcast offering raw, candid conversation on variety of topics ranging from culture and social issues to personal growth and current events. The podcast features unfiltered discussion that aims to inspire, entertain, and provoke thought while maintaining an authentic, engaging tone. Unfiltered Gupshup provides a space for real talks without any boundaries and also celebrates the people behind that and helping me so much. First of all, thanking the Supreme Power family and AB Photos, who is always behind me. So thank you very much. And today's our guest is Sampada. I'm so happy, Sampada, after long chase I got you. So our unfiltered guest is here today and wanted to introduce her, how special she is. So Sampada is passionate about visual arts and has spent more than 18 years exploring traditional, folk and tribal art styles from India. She is also a certified Zentangle Teacher. Much of her work is influenced by these two diverse styles of art. Her work has been appreciated and accepted in a number of exhibitions and shows that she is part of various community outreach, especially in large-scale murals. And she does a lot of social work, philanthropic work, and she is here today with us. And thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, Aditi.
So please introduce more about yourself, which I do not know.
Okay, well, my name is Sampada Kodagali Agarwal. I have been in Morrisville since 2006. In this country, I think more years than I have lived in India. I have always gravitated towards the arts since childhood. Music was one of the first things that I explored. Again, that was all very extempore, never really learned it technically. Art, I think, was something that was even before that, because my mother has been a very big driving force behind it. She, even though I'm originally from Karnataka, but brought up in Gujarat.
Okay.
So a lot of things, as you know, every state in India is different. And so I picked up a lot of Gujarati culture, and so I started singing garbas.
Okay.
But my mother kept us all grounded with our culture from Karnataka.
Yes.
And so she was the one who would make rangolis every single day in the morning, like how it is done back home.
Yes.
And I'm truly grateful for her, because that really made me understand the nuances, the differences between each state. So yeah, I grew up with a lot of music, and then of course dance was also part of it. As I mentioned, I sing the garbas, but I also perform the garbas, and then I also learned Kathak. So I am a Visharad in Kathak, but that's something which I have not pursued since I finished it. But inherently, I feel that all the art forms are very, very interconnected.
Yes.
So I guess visual arts is just something that I have been spending a lot of my time on lately.
That's awesome. So what inspired most to follow the Indian folk art?
So again, that was a very serendipitous thing. I really didn't plan it that way. I just happened to move back to India for a bit. And so when my children were a little younger, we moved back for a few years, and I was in Pune. And I happened to take a Warli session with one of the tribal Warli artists.
Oh, okay.
So it was a 3-day workshop, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I really, I guess I just got started at that time, and that was back in 2002. So a solid 22 years of Warli experience I have now.
Wow.
And again, it all comes from practice. So I have been practicing it since so long that now I think I'm enjoying the possibilities of Warli, because see, what happens is most of our folk and tribal art forms talk about either nature or wherever they are, their region, right? So Warli comes from parts of Maharashtra and South Gujarat. So that's the Sahyadris. So they live among the mountains and nature and such. And so their stories are about whatever they do. But then what the aha moment that I had was when I used that information. So the syntax was Warli, but the semantics was local. And so the Warli mural that I did along with a very dear, extremely creative friend, Ramya Kapadia. So we did this really massive 60 feet mural in Durham. And again, as I said, the semantics is local. So we are talking about the history of the city of Durham as it evolved from where it was to where it is now. And so it chronologically shows how it has changed over the years. And so I think that is what makes our art so relevant even to people from other cultures.
Yes. An art form is such a thing that everybody connects, whether you are whichever part of the world you are from.
Yes. But when you have your story being presented, it becomes even more it resonates more, right? Because if I were to paint something about, bullock carts and paddy fields, it's not relevant here because people don't know what they are. I mean, it's exotic, but it's not theirs. So here there is a sense of ownership because then you see, oh, this is my town, And that's how I have kind of tried to look at art. Every time I look at any art style, I try to find the commonalities.
Very nice. So can you explain the cultural significance of the specific folk art from your practice?
So that's a tough question because I do practice a lot of folk arts. It's not just Warli. It started off with Warli, but then I also gravitated towards Mithila art, which is also popularly called Madhubani. Even though Madhubani is not technically correct, you have to call it Mithila art. And I actually got a certification. And so that's the other thing. I feel that there are a lot of life-altering things that have happened globally. One of them was COVID. And obviously when it happened, it was something that we were all kind of not prepared for, right? But out of all that mess, there is something good that came out, and that was all this interconnectivity, these Zoom calls, and people were isolated in their homes, but they were able to connect through the technology. And that opened a lot of doors. And so I feel that that was, the long run, we kind of see the good in things. At that time, you think this is the worst thing that can happen.
People got to understand themselves during the COVID.
Exactly. So it also gave everybody a lot of time to kind of, as you said, internalize and look at things. So I actually connected with a very good artist she's based in Hyderabad, even though she is from the Mithila area. Her name is Shalini Kumari, a brilliant Mithila artist. And so I started training under her, and I got certified with her. So a lot of things happened. So Mithila art was one that I explored. Then I did Matani Pachhedi, which is from Gujarat. So that again kind of resonated with me because I'm from Gujarat. Chittara is another art form that's from Karnataka. Mandana is from Rajasthan. I practiced that too. And then, of course, Rangoli or Kolams, as we call. There are just so many kinds. Alpona is another one. I have been exposed to a lot of Bengali because
I was trying to get there.
Yes. And Alpona is really my second love, I feel, because I have been, again, taking lessons with a very popular Bengali artist based out of Shantiniketan. And I'm taking lessons with him too. So in general, I feel I'm all the time studying. That's all I do.
Awesome. You get time to study.
Sudhiranjan Mukherjee is his name, by the way.
How do you keep the traditional techniques of folk art alive while also adapting the modern times? In this modern times, how do you?
So as I mentioned earlier with Warli, I kind of used that syntax but made it relevant semantic-wise. So similarly with Gond art, that's another one that that's my, again, another love. And a mural that I did last year with the town of Morrisville, my own hometown, at the Morrisville Aquatics and Fitness Center.
Yes.
So there I did a mural called Roots and Wings. And so because Morrisville is houses the airport, I felt that's a very important part of who we are as a town. So there is a very big plane which is also shaped like a fish, because Gond has this very imaginative things that they present, you know. So and also because it's the aquatic center, so I wanted some water element in there.
Water element.
And then the tree is always suggestive of growth, shelter, providing, you know, because a tree always provides things, right? It never takes anything.
Yes, never takes.
And then I had all these colorful birds that indicated that we are all different, but we are all similar, you know. So we are all looking for a home. And so Roots and Wings is what my mural was called. And so even though I'm using the Gond style, I try to make it relevant to wherever we are.
So nice thoughts behind it. So what challenges do you think we are facing right now promoting our folk art?
Again, I think in this day and age, it's about instant gratification. Everybody wants to do something quick and, you know, like have a quick turnaround and say 2 days and I want to be an expert.
Yeah.
It's not possible. Any of these things take a lifetime, and most of these, you know, all these folk arts are passed on through generations, you know, and usually through women, because women are the ones who are the homemakers, and so it comes in from mothers to daughters and so on. So you really, what I want from people is you don't have to excel at the art, you just have to know about it, so that next time, let's say you go to India or anywhere, you know, I mean, if you have an opportunity to buy the art or learn from the artist, you know how much effort goes into it. So the minute you understand, unless you do it, you don't get it. And the minute you do, because the minute you look at something, you say, oh, that's easy, I can do it. But it takes a lot of thought and lot of creativity. And so I feel that we just need to have people have the patience to practice it. If you practice it, make it a part of your life, make it something that you don't look at it as in, what am I getting out of it? Because a lot of times, you know, we talk about STEM. I feel it is more of STEAM that we should look at. So it's not just science, technology, engineering, math. It should be science, technology, engineering, art and math. And because art brings in a lot of creative thinking. And
patience brings.
Absolutely. And for me, per se, I feel, because I'm also a certified Zentangle teacher, I feel that art style has really given me a lot when it comes to forgiving yourself. Like, be kind to your own self before you be kind to everybody else, which you absolutely should. But also to kind of explore new avenues and not copy. I don't want anybody to copy anybody. I want everybody to think on their own, because art is a language. You are trying to convey something. And so if you want to convey something, you first need to figure out what is it that you want to tell, what story do you want to tell, and then tell your own story, because I'm sure everybody has their own stories and there is no repetition, you know. So so I just want people to kind of explore art and at any age. I mean, it doesn't have to be, it's not just for young people.
I myself, I'm very fond of doing Zentangle and mandalas. So beautiful art.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So can you share the stories or theme that you commonly influence through your artwork?
Again, as I said, when I do these murals, I feel that they do influence people, because they were not aware of this art style, so they become aware of it. Another thing that I have seen is that I myself connect with people, because there are people who just randomly send me an Instagram message and say, hey, you know what, I was riding down Booker Creek Trail, that's where one of my murals is in Chapel Hill, and I saw it and it really made my day. And those kinds of interactions, when I hear from somebody, it just makes me light up, because it's
I totally understand. So how do you source your materials how do you use the materials you're using for your artwork?
So most of the times I just use local materials, but I also explore a lot with some things that I can possibly get from India or somewhere else. I try. So in this, I have a solo exhibition coming up in May, the months of May and June in Sartoma Arts Center. And
congratulations for that.
Thank you. So I'm working on them, and it's a brand new set of artworks that I'm creating, because my narrative was such that I don't have anything on those lines.
Okay.
So my proposal was to bring in the commonalities between Celtic art, columns, and mandana from Rajasthan.
Okay.
So there are 2 art styles from India and 1 from Ireland. Okay. And I'm trying to find commonalities between the 3 and combining the 3 together.
That's
And since columns are usually done on the floor, I'm trying to use clay and such, so red clay. So I got a little bit of red clay from India to kind of just explore that. I got some actual rangoli, and I'm using rice flour, and I'm using leaves. I'm using a lot of organic materials to kind of show that the short-livedness of a column or a rangoli. Because all floor art, when we look at floor art, we just say, oh, it is floor art, but it is much more than that, I feel. Because first of all, you are bringing in art on a daily basis. Second of all, you are understanding the concept of letting go. Because however wonderful your creation is, tomorrow you will have to wipe it all off.
Yes.
Right?
Within 10 minutes it might get...
So it really is a big philosophical message that it sends you, that you don't have to hold on to things. You have to let go, let go gracefully, So those are the kind of things that I feel. And so as far as the material is concerned, I try to bring in that temporariness of that art. So when I use leaves, for example, I try to convey that. So there is a lot of and of course sustainability, I'm always very big on that. So try to bring in more organic materials in my artwork.
So how do you teach or pass on the knowledge of your folk art or any kind of art to the younger generation?
So I normally try to engage with community projects. I put in a lot of grant proposals and such, and try to bring in so one-on-one art classes. I find it hard to manage because up till last year I was working full-time. I'm just now become a full-time artist. But the first thing that I feel very grateful for is I have been accepted in one of the programs by United Arts Council called Artists in Schools. And so this is my first year. And my proposal, one of the proposals was to offer column workshops. And one of the schools has accepted that workshop, and so that proposal. And so I'm going to teach Lufkin Middle 6th to 8th graders, 300 of them in April, a 4-day workshop. And each day I will be teaching the same session 4 times. For 4 days. So right now I'm in that mindset where I'm trying to make sure that they learn from it and understand what exactly column is. So that is one thing. The other thing, the other project that I'm working on is Orange County, which is in Chapel Hill. So Orange County Rape Crisis Center. So I'm offering Zentangle classes. So it's a series of 4 classes that are currently going on to bring in awareness of the institution itself. So this is a collaboration between me as an artist and OCRCC. And so we are offering those classes right now. So that is ongoing. The third thing that's going on is in Hillsborough. So in Hillsborough, in Hillsborough there is a studio called, actually it's part of the Hillsborough Arts Council.
Okay.
There is a very big studio called Arts Mill,
Okay,
and
yes,
I am offering mural workshops to teens between 13 and 17 who are either disadvantaged or from
Broken
troubled.
families.
Yeah. So I'm offering these workshops to teens, and we are using Warli as our syntax.
That's
So
awesome.
and so they will be painting their own stories. So that is also ongoing.
That's awesome.
So so I have a bunch of such things. I just had a kolam workshop that I did last weekend with SAIFA, which is the South Indian Fine Arts Academy.
Yes.
And since I'm on the board of Leela Foundation,
Yes.
last year we had one of the master artists, Warli master artists, Anil Vangad, come in.
Yeah, I saw that.
So this year we again have him coming along with a couple of other artists.
Oh,
So I'm trying my best to bring in master artists and then have them talk about their own arts.
So nice. So nice to hear all these projects about.
Yep.
So what are the key differences between various regional art forms of India? Like one or two, whatever you can mention.
Again, it all depends on the geography of the area. So, for example, Warli will be talking more about nature in a different way. I mean, and they have these availability of materials that they looked at was more of rice, because they grow rice, they have rice as a white color, and that's what they do. While Mithila art, they have
Vegetable, is it vegetable?
yeah,
colours
they
use?
live amongst the forest. Like Madhubani is forest of honey,
Yes,
right? So
yes.
it's again parts of North Bihar and parts of Nepal. So
Okay.
all this, it's more a forest region where there are a lot of different kinds of flowers available. So their art is very colorful.
Yes.
So a lot of things depends on the geography, also the content. Like for example, Mithila is supposed to be the kingdom where Sita was born, and so their content is more of Ramayana. So
Yes.
mythology is another important part of their subject matter. So they have nature, they have Ramayana and these mythological
Stories,
things, and also more contemporary, social, whatever.
Yeah.
So it depends. Gonds, for example, theirs is a much more newer art style, I want to say, because that was in the 70s that it came up.
Okay.
So Jangad Singh Sham is supposed to be like the father of Gond art. Similarly, again, kolam, as it's called in Tamil Nadu, uses rice flour to make it edible, make the insects and birds also eat whatever they work on. The Alpona, there also they use rice flour, but in a wet form. So they do more of wet. Even, I mean, Tamil Nadu also has a wet kolam as well. But I feel that there are more commonalities than differences. And as I had mentioned before, most of them are done generationally.
Yes.
So, and usually through women. So most of these, and even Warli started off with women, but now men have, because it is something that Jivya Soma Mashegu, who is supposed to be the father of Warli, he brought in a lot of different iconography in it. But otherwise it was again a women's only art. So there are a lot of things that are done generationally, and all we can do is support each of them and make sure that they thrive, because if those artists cannot sustain themselves, their children are not going to do it, because if it doesn't pay, then naturally they are not going to continue. So that's the other.
So can you describe a particularly meaningful or memorable piece you have made, like so many years you have been doing? So any favorite one?
My favorite one is one that I did in the Mithila art style. And because, as I said, my mother has been a huge influence on me, and since she used to make rangolis every day in the morning, that's something that has been ingrained in my mind so much. I have created a Mithila art drawing where I have depicted my mother making the rangoli, and I'm sitting next to her, looking at her in awe, saying, and it used to be like every day I used to go and ask my mother, what are you going to do today? And she never used to tell me. She would just go and do it. So it was for me very mysterious, saying, what is my mom going to create today, you know?
Yeah.
So I feel that is extremely close to my heart, also because I lost my mother last year. So it has been a very difficult journey for me. But I feel, again, my mom was a very strong woman, and so I take that strength from her. And even this exhibition that's coming up, grounded in Kolam and Mandana and Celtic, I feel it's dedicated to her.
That's awesome. Thank you very much for joining this Unfiltered Gupshup podcast. And if you have anything to message for the younger generation, how they can perceive the folk art or any kind of art, what message you will be giving?
The message that I would like to give them is just try it. You might like it.
Yes. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Absolutely.
And please, our audience, subscribe our channel so that we can grow, you can grow, and a lot of things are coming up soon. So stay tuned with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.